Is this the best camera you can buy right now? Let's find out. Hey, what's happening, everybody? I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm hanging out in my garage tonight because kids are in bed. It's quiet in there. I don't want to disturb anybody. Just a little disclaimer. So this isn't one of my typical videos. This is like strictly a tech video. So if you're not interested in like gear or camera gear or tech or whatever, watch some of my other videos or wait till the next one. So I saw an announcement today that Canon just came out with a new camera, the M50. And usually I'm up on these things. I hadn't checked a rumor site in a while or like news about camera gear or anything like that. The reason this surprised me so much and why this seems so relevant is because I just got this. If you're curious, this is the EOS M6. I just bought this like a week or two ago. Just bought it, and then Canon comes out with a new mirrorless camera. Should you buy it? Well, I don't know, it depends. It seems like I've spent the last year or so trying to find the perfect setup for the type of video work that I do. For years and years, I had a very specific criteria for the type of cameras that I prefer for client work, but once I started producing content on a regular basis and wanting to get out content quickly, my needs changed. And I've kind of flipped my whole gear setup recently to something completely different that I never thought that I would have. What I had been shooting on was this. This is a Sony A7s full frame camera, and I really prefer the full frame look. I absolutely love this camera. Everything it does is great. But once I started shooting content by myself, where I need to be able to see what I was doing, this didn't really work anymore. This is all the further this screen flips up. So if I'm shooting like this, I mean, it's anybody's guess what's happening. But I have heard some people say like there's a way that you take a selfie where you look at yourself, and the way you look is very different than if you're talking to someone. I think there's a plus to a camera like this, that when you look at it, you're not in that like vain selfie mode. You can actually just look right at the lens and speak right to the person that you're speaking to. And I think that's a big plus. But as far as the way things look on this camera, I love the picture. I love the way it looks. So this combo is Sony with a 28 f2. I really like that 28mm focal length on a full frame camera. This would be ideal. It had a flip up screen, and if it had image stabilization, and specifically the in-body image stabilization that's in the A7R2 and the A7R3 and some other Sony cameras. Another camera that I really love that I've shot a lot with is a Sony A50-100. Now it's not full frame, it's the smaller APS-C sensor, but it had two big drawbacks. The first was there was no microphone input jack, and the second was it would overheat if you shot for more than 5 minutes and you'd have to take a break. For most things I can get over that 5-minute mark because I shoot in very short spurts, but the microphone jack was a no deal for me because right here I've got a mic. I just like the ease of shooting that way, better audio quality. Now, the other camera that I've shot with for years and years, prior to wanting to shoot stuff like this, was a Canon 5D Mark III, which is amazing for client work, and it's great for just shooting anything that you want to shoot where you don't have to look at yourself. I completely flipped my gear. I got rid of the Canon 5D Mark III, the full frame camera, and I picked up this, which is the Canon EOS M6. So far, I've just had a chance to use it a little bit, but here's what I love about it. Flip up screen so I can see what I'm doing, microphone jack, and it's APS-C or a crop sensor. So it's not full frame, but it's fairly decent. What I don't love is not a huge lens selection, but so far it works for what I want. It's small, I can take it anywhere. It's like ready to go anywhere that I shoot. Now, to the subject at hand, today I saw that Canon released the EOS M50, which is a mirrorless camera similar to this. It's more similar to the M5, which has like a little hump here and a viewfinder. Now, should you buy that camera? Well, I don't know. I think maybe, but you have to buy it for the right reason. I've shot on Canon cameras on nearly every kind. You know, I started out on Panasonic early in my career. Then I bought a T2i. I've had a T3i. I've had every iteration of that T whatever. I've had a 5D Mark III. I've shot on 70D, 80D. I've rented nearly every Canon camera. I've shot on the cinema cameras. So really through that history of shooting on Canon cameras, there's a couple things I've encountered with Canon that have been frustrating. And most of that seems to be like, it's almost there on the feature set, not quite. It's almost what you want, but still not exactly what you want. So in a perfect world, what I would have is full frame camera, flip up or flip out screen, 4K, in-body image stabilization. Now, I know what you're thinking. The closest thing to that is the Canon 6D Mark II. And I'm this close to getting that. But should you buy the EOS M50. So if you're looking for a camera like I was, like the M6, that APS-C sensor, has a flip up screen, has an audio input jack, and is good for the small form factor, for like throwing in a bag, taking with you anywhere, or for vlogging specifically, I would say maybe you should get that. Not because of the new features though. They announced that it's a 4K mirrorless camera, but the 4K is cropped in, so you lose any of the wide angle you get on the sensor. So really 4K is kind of just a novelty. If you're looking for a 4K camera for this type of shooting, I don't think that's your camera. The other thing is in 4K, it doesn't do the dual pixel autofocus, which is Canon's big feature for people that want to shoot videos like this, where it tracks my face and it keeps my face in focus. Like no matter what I'm doing, it's gonna keep it in focus. So that doesn't work in 4K in this camera. The reason I think you should buy it is because the price point. It's like in between $700 and $800. It's probably about $1,000 for the kit, which is just about the same price. Has pretty much the same features, everything this has. So I would say if you were going to buy the M6 or the M5, you should just go ahead and buy that new M50 because it's the same feature set, reasonably close price, and you get kind of that 4K bonus, even though you may not be able to use it in the situations you want to. So that's a scenario where I think you should buy that camera. Now let me know your thoughts. What are you looking for in a camera? Does that camera appeal to you? Do you feel the same way I do? Like the features are there, but not in the way we want them? Let me know your thoughts.